So I would love if you could tell people what it was like before you hired me as your relationship coach, and what were the problems you were trying to address?
Yeah, before we started seeing you, it was kind of the last straw. It was before we decide to separate, should we give this one more try?
I called a couple or connected with a couple different places that wouldn't even consider helping us because we were in different countries. And a coworker of mine recommended you. And when I contacted you, you were enthusiastic and you were like, let's see how we can make this work. You know, it was like a lifeline to me.
I'm curious, like, were there any obstacles that almost made you decide not to work with me or just not to get help, period? Like, were there hesitations there?
As far as, the only obstacle was something that you diffused immediately, which was our different logistics, that he was in a different country than me. But I personally, had no hesitation about working with you. There was an instant, like comfort and ease that you brought that instantly made me feel safe, that I could say things and not be judged. And, I could spew all my emotions and yeah, you were very easy to talk to, and your demeanor is laid back, which is what I always appreciate.
Were there any surprises to either of you? Like, oh, I view Paula in a little bit of a different way now, and I see this about her. I view Mike in a slightly different way now than I did when we started all of this.
What was surprising to me was in this process, when we started the process, I felt that he was removed. He was not there emotionally, like he was already checked out.
Yeah.
And didn't really care, was kind of flippant. That was just my perspective. But I was really surprised how much he was there. And that he was affected like I was.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that was my biggest surprise.
Any surprises for you, Mike?
I think my biggest surprise, we both wanted it to work.
Yeah, I do think that's like a thing that we kind of all realized somewhere in there. Like, you guys are actually both really committed, and it seemed like it was more of a fear that the other person wasn't all in.
Yeah.
On both ends.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing to realize.
We both had that same
aha.
So what advice would you have for people who are wondering, like, can we save our marriage or relationship?
Very simply, if you want to, you can.
I have to say probably about the same thing. Like, I was already thinking in those terms as well, like how it was all going to work. And truly, it's, if you think there's something worth, if it's something worth fighting for, to at least try.
Yeah, that is a really good point. It's almost just like your lens is messed up, or your perspective, and it's like just shifting that. It's like, oh, this is doable. We're in it together. So what specifically has changed or improved since we have worked together? How are things different now?
Everything's different.
It's almost a silly question. We're here. That's what's different.
Yeah.
We're in the same room.
Yep.
We're together. We graduated from the School of Heather. And I think both of us see us growing old together without a doubt.
Yeah. Our communication is there.
Yes.
Night and day from what it was to what it is now. Yeah. I
mean, we still have our moments.
Sure. Like anyone.
In the moment, we can recognize the moment. And the big shift is, there's kind of three stages. The first stage is you don't even know what you're doing wrong. The second stage is, you did it wrong, but you only know it later.
Yep.
When it's too late to do anything about it, but maybe you can correct future actions.
Right.
And the third step is, in the moment that you're doing the wrong things, and you can stop yourself in the spiral and pull out of it. And I think getting to that third step is where we are most of the time. There's
Mhm.
still step 2,
Yeah.
where where the next day or that night, it's like, I screwed that one up.
Right, but just the fact that you can process that and then be more aware next time, I mean, it's just a whole other level of awareness.
Yeah. And we've also built up enough trust and honesty
Yes.
that if you make a mistake, it's not a big tick in the lose column.
Mm-mm.
It's just a moment, and we're both able to let those things go, not add them to the list of
Yep.
failings.